This meeting is being recorded.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarajanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारस्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं जदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकृद्भ्यो नमः प्रज्ञानां शुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्ठान् पुनरपि दिशनोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परममृतमजम् ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि जागरितस्थानः बहिष्प्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः स्थूलभुक् वैश्वानरः प्रथमः पादः जागरितं स्थानमस्येति जागरितस्थानः बहिष्प्रज्ञः स्वात्मव्यतिरिक्ते विषये प्रज्ञा यस्य सः बहिष्प्रज्ञः बहिः विषया इव प्रज्ञा अविद्याकृतावभासते इत्यर्थः तथा सप्ताङ्गानि यस्य तस्य वा एतस्यात्मनः वैश्वानरस्य मूर्धा एव सुतेजाः चक्षुः विश्वरूपः प्राणः पृथक् वर्त्मात्मा सन्देहः बहुलो बस्तिरेव रयिः पृथिवी एव पादौ इति अग्निहोत्रकल्पना शेषत्वेन आहवनीय अग्निः अस्य मुखत्वेन उक्तः इति एवं सप्त अङ्गानि यस्य सः सप्ताङ्गः. We saw this. बहिष्प्रज्ञः जागरितस्थानः वैश्वानरः स्थूलभुक् प्रथमः पादः. There are 4 padas, 4 states of experience. Actually there are 3, but to show what is Brahmavastu, 4 quarters are used here. And Bhashyakara had given the example of a single coin which comprises of 4 quarters. So the value of each quarter is the full. There is no quarter as such. It is only notional to show that he used that example. Nevertheless, the 4 padas is how Shruti starts to unfold the world experience. What is the experience that is here. And that experience is used to reveal your Swarupa. That is why it is called Tatastha Lakshanam. Whenever you start from the Srishti, Srishta Jagat, what is perceived as the world, when you start from there, it is called Tatastha Lakshana. You are starting from the shore. General example given is using crow to identify a house. So in those days, we used to have the television antenna. So a crow is sitting on top of the antenna of the house that you want to identify it for somebody. Then you can use the crow to identify the house, because at this moment the crow is there. So it is useful to identify that house, but it's not part of the house. Nor after you have identified the house, the person who is receiving that knowledge, once that person has recognized that particular house using the crow, doesn't need the crow anymore. The presence or absence of crow is immaterial. That is how Tatastha Lakshana works. The reason we have to say this is because many times people take it as a reality statement when Shruti talks about the Jagat Srishti. When Taittiriya Upanishad says Akashad Vayuhu Vayor Agnihi Agner Apaha and all that, we will find many translators say Vedas talk about creation this way, like that. Vedas, there is no commitment to show how the Srishti happened. There is no. Because, why are we saying this? Because the same Srishti is spoken of differently in different Shrutis. If there is commitment to show how the creation happened, then every Shruti should talk about creation in the same way. In some Shruti, it is Trivit Karanam. In some Shrutis, it is Panchi Karanam. In some Shruti, like in Mandukya, it is the 3 states of experience. So the Srishtivada is only a Tatastha Lakshana. Just looking at it from your experience, how do you bring you to what is the Sarvadhara Brahmavastu? So let us be very clear. Whenever there is a Srishti spoken, or whenever anything to do with your own experience is spoken, there is no commitment to explain your experience. That is not the intent. And it becomes an Anuvada or Apurva, lack of Apurva for Shruti to be talking about it. Because Shruti is a Pramana. And it is an independent Pramana, independent means of knowledge. When it is a means of knowledge, it should reveal something to you which is not available for other means of knowledge. So there should be uniqueness in what is being revealed. So we need to be very clear. Only that which is giving something new are pramanika vakyas. If there are some statements like vacant state and all that, it is only an anuvada. It just uses what is there in the real life, which is available through other pramanas, to show something else. Though there is no tatparya in Srishti. Let us be clear on that. Now these four padas are used to show, to bracket your experience of this Jagat, both in the Vyashti context and Samashti context. In fact, the Vyashti Samashti in the Vekan are seen together. What is Samashti? The total. Vyashti is the individual. The individual is always part of the total. Like a tree is part of forest. Your prana is part of the larger air and wind ecosystem. Your physical body is part of the physical world. Whether it is here or Mars or Jupiter or Pluto, there is, at certain temperature, there are certain solids. And those solids, semi-solids, liquids, whatever, they form a total ecosystem of solids. And your physical body is part of that samashti. Heat, latent energy, what you need in your body, what you have in your body is part of a total. Similarly, this experience, that is a samashti and vishti. Now, from an experience perspective, I experience a total and I experience an individual, especially when there is a bahish prajna. In the vacant state, I experience a world that I see as though it is outside. And then there is me as in physical boundary. This hand, body, stomach, head, eyes. There is a boundary here. And with reference to this boundary, there is an inside and there is an outside. But the outside and inside are always perceived together, unless I am closing my eyes. Then there is no, then it is all only imagination, right? Of course, I have a sense of touch, which kind of gives me a boundary. But otherwise, when I am hearing, when I am seeing, all that, especially around seeing, I see an outside and inside. Because there is a perception of an outside in only this state. In dream, there is no outside perception as it is in the vacant. Because in the vacant, your indriyas are your instruments of knowledge are very clear. And because of, even in the dream, you see an outside and inside, but it is not very sharp as it is in the vacant. Therefore, it is called bahish prajna. It is as though, with reference to this body, it is as though it is outside is also perceived. So the pratamah padaha, so the three padas are bahish prajna, antah prajna, prajnana ghanaha. Bahish prajna, antah prajna, prajnana ghanaha. Bahish prajna is the term used for vacan. What obtains in the vacan, the awareness of the as though outside and inside is what is called Bahish Prajnaha. Antah Prajnaha is the dream state. In dream, there is no as though outside because of the instruments of knowledge and instruments of action. Your karanas are not operating in a way that it shows this as outside, that is inside, in a very prominent way as it happens in the wake, and therefore it is called Antah Prajnaha because dream happens inside your karana. It's in your Antah Karana it is happening, so it is called Antah Prajnaha. And the darkness, like night, this you are called Andhakara Ghana. That Ghana is used for deep sleep called Prajnana Ghana. Everything is resolved and in an unified state in deep sleep, so it is called Prajnana Ghana. And in the imagery, so this Prajna, okay, let us first understand this. The three things I mentioned now is Bahish Prajnaha, Antah Prajnaha, Prajnana Ghanaha. They are based on Prajna, the awareness, the consciousness. Jna is Janati, knowing, recognizing, cognizing. Prajnaha means the conscious entity. And what kind of conscious? Bahish Prajnaha. Bahihi, as though outside, is being cognized. And the person, Prajnaha, Prajna is conscious. The person, Prajna Yasya is Prajnaha. Bahihi Swatma Vyatirikte Vishaye Prajna Yasya. So you all the time you are in things which are non-you. The non-you is where your awareness is. Therefore, it is Bahish Prajna, is how Bhashyakara defines. We said Bahihi means Indriya Apekshaya, it is as though outside. Bhashyakara says Atma Apekshaya, outside. Irrespective, the focus is on Prajna. This is a Bahurihi. Bahihi Vishaye Prajna Yasya Saha. For the one to whom Prajna is of an outside things, outside of Atma. The non-Atma, because Atma Vyatirikte is what he says. So Prajnaha, if that Jnapti is the focus, the three words used are Bahish Prajnaha, Antah Prajnaha, Prajnana Ghanaha. The other terms also are used, Vishwaha, Taijasaha, Prajna. And from a Samashti perspective, Vaishwanaraha, Hiranyagarbhaha, and Ishwaraha are also used generally. So here, for Bahish Prajnaha, Vaishwanaraha is the term used. That is what is called Vishwa. But like I already said, because the experience of outside and inside are happening simultaneously, that is why it is called Bahish Prajnaha. Therefore, it is also Vaishwanaraha. It is the Virat. The Samashti is the experience, because your world experience is together with your individual experience. It's all one experience. And that is why Saptangaha. This Saptanga Kalpana we saw in the last class, because it is Vaishwanaraha. It's the Virad, the Samashti. Vaishwanarasya Murdha eva Sutejaha. All the galaxies, Milky Way and others. That's why Sutejaha, Dyulokaha, all the effulgent worlds that are above from our standpoint. It can be below also, we don't know. There will be above and below, obviously. You are in one of the galaxy. We can't say we are the bottommost galaxy just because we see all stars up. That is because below us is the earth. Underneath there could be other galaxies. So all these galaxies are like the head, because that is where all action is happening. And the galaxies are suspended in the space. So the body is the space. The eyes are the suns. The wind, air is the prana. Then the kidney is all waters and liquids. The solids and the earth is the pada. That till then we saw. And we also saw the Agavaniya Agni is the mouth. Agnihotra kalpana seshatvena Agavaniya Agnihi asya mukatvena uktaha iti evam saptangani yasya saha saptangaha. We briefly also spoke why the Agavaniya Agni is mukha. Because the natural question will be, if everything was spoken as samashti, you said all galaxies are head, the entire space, which is like, how we don't know how large it is the body, and all of wind is its breathing, all of liquids are kidney, all solids are pada, all suns are eyes, and you have a very small mouth, which is somebody doing some agnihotra somewhere. So it is not consistent. The mouth should have been some all agni, latent heat, right? Heat only. Jataragni is what digests food. So for Virat Purusha, you should have said the mouth is the entire latent heat agni across all continents and all galaxies. That's how the Samashti Kalpana should have been from a mouth perspective. But you are saying one small Ahavaniya Agni Kunda in an Agnihotra is what is the mouth for such a Virat Purusha. The idea here is, it is the Jiva's karma which is the food. Why? Because the consumer of the Samashti is the Vyashti Jiva. all these galaxies, the suns and moons and the trees and the heat and the wind and whatever we just saw, they are there for a life to experience it. Otherwise, there is no use of a sun. If there are no life forms, the existence of sun and moon are irrelevant, because it neither can be proved that they exist, nor will there be any use of them. So the use is only for a jiva consumption, and the jiva consumes them based on their karma. Somebody gets burnt by the sun, someone enjoys the sun, someone gets a lot of benefit from the wind, somebody has vada problem, vata becomes a reason for dukkha for somebody. It is all due to the karma. Some flies get burnt by fire, some gets good cooked food from the fire. It all depends on the person's karma, and that karma alone feeds the Virat Purusha and in turn makes the life sustained. So this Ahavani Agni is a upalakshana for Jiva Karma. It stands for Jiva Karma. The Jiva's karma becomes the food. Therefore, the Mukha is the karma only. And this Saptanga Kalpana is there for all three, not just Virat, but also for Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara. It's the only difference is one is Stula, the other is Sukshma, and the other is Karana. That's all. Otherwise, Samashti is Samashti. The Samashti Virat is pervaded by the Stula Samashti is pervaded by Sukshma Samashti, which is Hiranyagarbha. It is the same like in Vyashti. Here I have a physical body, Stula body, pervaded by Sukshma body. Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Prana, Manaha, Ahankaraha, Chittam, Buddhi. All this pervade together, pervade this physical body. And the Karana Sharira pervades both the Sukshma and Stula body. Similarly, in Samashti, Hiranyagarbha pervades the Virat and Ishvara pervades Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, the Saptanga Kalpana has to be for all. Tata ekona vimshatihi mukani asya buddhindriyani karmendriyani cha dasha vayavascha pranadaya pancha mano buddhyahankara chittam the mukani va mukani tani. The 19 mouths where the experiences are happening, we already saw. The 5 jnanendriya, 5 karmendriya, 5 prana, mana, buddhi, ahankara, chittam, उपलब्धि द्वाराणीत्यर्थः स एवं विशिष्टः वैश्वानरः यतोक्तैः द्वारैः शब्दादीन् स्थूलान् विषयान् भुङ्क्ते इति स्थूलभुक्. The tangible things are consumed. Therefore, it's called स्थूलभुक्. Since we saw these in the last class, I'm going little fast. Some of the other points I wanted to just refocus because we rushed through. Therefore, I spent some time today on that. Vishvesham Vishvesham Naranam Anekada Nayanat Vaishwanaraha. Yadva Vishwascha Asau Narascha iti Vishwanaraha Vishwanaraha eva Vaishwanaraha. Till here we saw. Vishwesham Naranam Anekadha Nayanat Vaishwana. How did this Vaishwanara term came? We saw the Vyutpati. It leads, it takes all the jivas based on the karma phala in different ways. This samashti creates diverse forms of experiences based on the karma. That's why it's called Vaishwanaraha. Sarva pindatma ananyatvat. It is non-separate from all jivas, individual pindatma. Therefore, it is Vishwaha. Saf pratamah padaha. That is the first quarter. Edat purvagatvat uttarapadadigamasya prathamyam isya. Because all other two come out of it. Not three. Because the fourth one is actually not a quarter. It is the full. Appears as the quarter. Okay. Now, this is where we were last class. Katamayam atma brahma iti pratyagatmanaha asya chatushpatve prakrite dilogadinam murdadi angattvamiti. Ayam atma brahma is how it started. Abhinayena ayam. This was shown using abhinaya. You remember that? So this is small. You are showing here this atma means pratyagatma. Now, when I am going to talk about this pratyagatma, this individual atma, the chatushpadvam should have been this person is vacant, this person is dreaming, this person is in deep sleep. That's how you should talk. No, suddenly you say the context is Ayam Atma Brahma. No, suddenly how can you say the Saptanga Kalpana is for Dyuloka? You picked it up from Chandogya, that is fine. But the context here is Ayam Atma Brahma. Maybe some other Kalpana should come. Naisha Doshaha. It's not a problem, sir, because you have to look at the context and you have to look at the overall purpose. And like I said, Pramanyam is because of Apurvata. What is intended to be shown? What is the Upanishad's context? All that needs to be kept in mind. Sarvasya prapanchasya sadhi devakasya anena atmana chatushpatvasya vivakshitatva. The prapanchas chatushpatvam. Prapanchasya sarvasya sadidevakasya atmana chatushpatvasya vivakshitatva. So from this, see the prapancha experience from the context. What is prapancha? This is where we have a big problem. I think this is where the Vedantis have to understand clearly the shift. The prapancha, unlike a Nayayika or Sankhya person, the reality, how we look at prapancha is only with reference to what is the experience. It is the experience which is analyzed, not what is here. This, even though we use it, that this is a cloth, I am going to analyze this cloth, and then there is this fabric, yarn, we say all that, but we use it only to understand what is the reality. But actually we are not looking at the cloth. That is not what is the focus. It is the experience of the cloth. That is why focus on because that is the reality. Within the experience only you are actually talking about cloth and all that. But underlying all this, the reality is it's an experience. You are experiencing a cloth. Start there. Don't start in the cloth. That is the problem. Then you will become like a Vaiseshika or Sankhya, where you have attributed a reality to the thing which is there already, and then and then you are trying to analyze. That will not take you anywhere because it is mithya. It is Maya Prapancha. So rather than looking at the object, you have to look at the experience. It is the experience which is the reality and not the object itself. No, if the experience is a reality, start there and see what is the reality of that experience. That is why here it's Bahish Prajnaha. It's not Bahir Vishaya that is focus. It is Bahish Prajnatvam. It is a Prajna. Finally, if you see, it is only Bahish Prajna. So that is how, then only you will understand. That is a shift. There are no external objects. There is an external object experience which is called Vekan. The content is the experience, not the Bahir Vishaya. You get that? So that is why we said all the experiences are subtle, Sukshma only, because it is only an experience. There is no object. There is no corresponding object. It's just an experience that you see, that happens. Therefore, sarvasya prapanchasya sadidevakasya anena atmana chatushpatvasya vivakshitatvat. So the chatushpatva vivaksha is for everything which is here, because everything is same experience, whether it is this body experience or that moon experience, that sun experience, that sky experience, it is all supported by one experience plane. The Vekan is one plane of experience. When you say there is Vekan, the individual, I am experiencing what is inside my lung or heart or chest or mouth, and I am experiencing the smell which is there, and my Indriya is catching it. All this rests on one experiencing substratum, and we are analyzing this experience itself, not the objects of experience. Individual objects of experience, there are zillions of them. You can't go and analyze each one, and you will only get to see some, and that will be like, a tiniest fraction of the total number that exists. We don't even know how many objects are there, how many galaxies are there, what exists where. Nothing we know. So understanding objects themselves doesn't lead you anywhere. In fact, no single object you can understand in full, because that also keeps going. You dissect, it keeps going. Then where is the question of understanding everything? So what we are trying to understand is the experience called Vekan experience. There could be any number of objects. You may experience this object, two objects, 100 objects, zillion objects, doesn't matter. It is all an experience. Bahish Prajnaha. That experience is what is being analyzed. The Vekan experience is what is analyzed. It's not the objects within Vekan. Therefore, because it is a Vekan experience which is analyzed, the Vyashti Samashti is irrelevant. Both are on that experience. Sarvasya prapanchasya sadidevakasya anena atmana chatushpatvasya vivakshitatvat. The Sarva Prapancha is the Vivaksha, because Bahish Prajnatvam, Prajna is the Vivaksha. Evam chasati Sarva Prapanchopashame Advaita Siddhihi. Then Sarva Prapancha Upashama takes place. How? Adhyaropa Apavadabhyam Nishprapancham Prapanchate. First, you bring all experiences in. Don't leave out anything. Bring them onto a same plane called the Vekan. That is Adhyaropa. Everything is Adhyastam on your experience. Whatever is the experience, you bring it all together first. Then we see through the fallacy of this being having any reality other than the content of the experience, which is chinmatram, that is apavada. When you do adhyaropa of the whole sarva prapancha and do an apavada by understanding what is the content of it, then upashama happens. And once the upashama takes place, then advaita siddhihi, then there is no duality, there is no second, there is only chetana vastu. Because all experiences have been nullified into the content of it, which is the surupa. That is why it is advaita siddhihi. Sarvabhutastascha atma ekaha drishtaha syat. Sarvabhutani cha atmani. And what is that advaita siddhi? Sarvabhutasta atma ekaha. It is everything that you are seeing and unseen and zillions of it. We said is supported by what? The plane of experience. And that plane of experience, the content of it is only Atma. The rest is all Adhyastha. It is as though appearing. Like Alata Shanti. That Alata, the spinning fire wheel, it is creating all kinds of visions, images. But as such, it is only one fireball. Like that, it is this Atma which is seen as all this experience. Therefore, sarvabhutastaha atma ekaha drishtaha syat. And within that Atma, everything is seen. In everything, Atma, because there's only Atma, there's nothing else. Whatever you see, you can say within that there is Atma, or you can say within Atma I saw everything. It's both the same. See, whenever we say Atma sarvabhutastaha atmani sarvabhutani, means suppose I say the fire is in the hand, as well I say the hand is in fire, that means what? Hand is already burning. Both are same. Then only I can say this is inside that and that is inside this, because they have coalesced into one. Similarly, if there is only Atma and there is an, as like pot is, I can say pot is in the clay or clay is in the pot, because pot and clay are one and same. Gold is in the chain, chain is in the gold. Yastu sarvani bhutani ityadi shrutyartha upasamhritascha evam syat anyata hi swadeha parichinnaha eva pratyagatma sankhyaadibiriva drishta syat. If we are going to only say this one body with reference to it, this pratyagatma is vacan and all that, that is a Sankhya-vada. But you can ask the question, Sankhya-vada can be true, no? Why can't you say, maybe Sankhya-vada is what is correct interpretation of Veda. But the problem is, tata cha sadi advaitam shruti krito visesho na syat. Shruti is going to say advaitam shantam shivam advayam manyante. Ekameva advitiyam. Shantam shivam advaitam. Here itself it is going to say. That will get negated if you go with Sankhya-vada. Sankhya-adi darshanena viseshat. ishyate sarvopanishadam sarvatmaikya pratipadakatvam. So the oneness is what is intended to be revealed by all the Upanishads. Aikya pratipadakatvam, sarvatma aikyam, oneness. It is not integration. It is oneness. It is one, is what is to be revealed. Ataha yuktamevasya adhyatmikasya pindatmanaha द्युलोकादियंगत्वेन विराडात्मना आदिदैविकेन एकत्वम् अभिप्रेत्य सप्तांगत्ववचनम. Therefore, this imagery of saptanga, which is virat, is fitting only. Murdha devyapatishyatit ityadi linga darshanach. Your head will break like that. There are some lingas. Let us move, because we spend more time on what we already covered in last class, but it was important because remaining things are an expansion of this. Viraja ekatvam upalakshanartam hiranyagarbha vyagritatmanoho. So this viraja ekatvam, the samashtitvam, and the samashti experience being one also applies to the other two padas, which are Hiranyagarbha and Avyagrata. Avyagrata is Ishvara. From a Vyakti perspective, the Karana Sharira is Ajnanam or Avidya. From Samashti perspective, we call it as Ishvara or Avyagrata. And the Sukshma is Hiranyagarbha. As we are introducing these things, so we need to be very clear. The term Virat, that is why Viraja, is the totality of the physical, tangible, Vishwa. Hiranyagarbha is totality of Sukshma. That's why Brahma is also called Hiranyagarbha. Brahmaji. And Avyakritam, unmanifest, is Samashti unmanifest. So when the Pralaya happens, the world resolves. That is called Avyakritam. And that is there even now. It's not that in Pralaya only it happens. It is in Pralaya, there is no Hiranyagarbha or Viraja, Virat. See, these are the three states which are given the Trimurti in our Puranas. Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma. This Viraj is the Vakan, which is where the Sthiti is happening, is Mahavishnu. Hiranyagarbha is Brahma, because it's the Sukshma Karanam. Sukshma, the subtle world. Vedatmana, it is there, Hiranyagarbha. And the Karana, which is Avyakrita, which is like I said in Pralaya, what exists is Avyakrita. That is Shiva, Rudra. Is called Antaka, right? He is the one who actually resolves everything into himself. That is Avyagrata. It's a Pauranika representation of how the Samashti is. All three together is one Samashti. That's it. Like it is one vacant person, I am there, you are there, everybody is there, with three states of experience. Like that in Samashti also, the Viraj, Hiranyagarbha, Avyagrata are one. Just the full-blown flower is the vacant. The bud is the dream. And the seed form is deep sleep. So it flowers, resolves. Flowers, resolves. That is how the Srishti itself. That's why Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva is Triputi only. It is like an aspect, a way you look at it. Uktam chayetat madhu brahmane Yaschayamasyaam prithivyam tejomayo amritamayah purushah yaschayamadhyatmam ityadi shushuptavyagृतयोः tu ekatvam siddhameva nirvisheshatvat evam च सति एतत् सिद्धं भविष्यति सर्वद्वैतोपशमे च अद्वैतम् इति. He quotes Madhu Brahmana in Brihadaranyaka, where this Hiranyagarbha Ikyam is also spoken. Yaschayam asyam prithivyam tejomayaha amritamayaha purushaha yaschayam adhyatmam. So this individual adhyatma purusha who is amritamaya is also the tejomaya in this prithvi. Tejomaya is Hiranyagarbha, the samashti in the whole creation. So the whole creation also has a subtle thing which is operating it, correct? That is Hiranyagarbha. So we have to understand this. This physical body is operated by what? Without this Karmendriya, Jnanendriya and Panchaprana and Manas Buddhi, this body is as though not there. So the subtle body is what operates it, that makes it all function, act. Likewise, the Hiranyagarbha makes this whole world, operate, function. And that Hiranyagarbha is Tejomayaha, because it is the functioning energy. And that is what is said in Madhu Brahmana. Therefore, the Ekatvam, the Samashtitvam is applicable to Hiranyagarbha and Avyagrata also. Sushupta Avyagratayoho tu Ekatvam Siddhameva Nirvisheshatvat. This is Bhashyakara. For Virat, I need to bring Shruti Pramana. For Hiranyagarbha, I need to bring Shruti Pramana. But for Avyagrata and Sushupti, I don't have to. Why? Because there is no Visheshana. It's only Ghana. So there are no tangible objects. In deep sleep, what is there? In deep sleep, there is only Ananda Anubhava. And Avyagrata Ishvara also is like deep sleep. There is also, it is the same. There is not going to be any attributes. There is no Vishesha. When there is no Vishesha, you can't differentiate one from the other. Simple. There is no Samashti Veshti there. Only if there is a dimensionality there, then I can say this is small, that is big. When there is no Vishesha at all, they are both same. So Ekatvam Siddhameva Nirvisheshatvat. This is what Bhashyakara is saying. Very beautiful. Evam cha sati etat siddham bhavishyati sarvadvaitopashame cha advaitam. The Advaita Siddhi is when the Dvaita Upashama takes place. Therefore, the Samashti has to be brought in. Swapnasthanaha antah prajnaha saptangaha ekonavimshati mukaha pravivikta bhuk taijasaha dvitiyah padaha. After Bahish Prajnaha, now Upanishad talks about Antah Prajnaha. That is what? Swapnasthanaha, Swapne Sthanam. From an individual perspective, Swapnam is where the Antah Prajna is obtained. The subtle body, only subtle body. Subtle body is there even in Vekan. But this Prajna means the inner awareness is available in Swapna. That is why Antah Prajna. And there is also Samashti in a way. because even there you experience an external. There is an external. Only from this physical vacant perspective you say it is internal, but within dream there is external, because you experience an outside in the dream also, no? In dream you see mountains, in dream you can see stars, sun, lion head with a human body and a horse's tail, anything you can see, but they are all outside only. From that, within the dream, it is outside for the you of the dream. But from the vacant perspective, it is antah prajnaha. That is also saptangaha. It has also ekona vimshati mukhaha. Whatever is in physical is there in subtle also. And it is pravivikta book. It eats the subtle things. Pravivikta book. Kevala vasana matra prajna bhojya iti praviviktaha bhogaha. It eats not stulam. In the case of Vishwa, it is stula book. Here, it eats only vasana. Whatever you experienced earlier in the Vekan is what is experienced as a subtle experience. Taijasaha dvitiyah padha. It is also called Taijasaha. Earlier one was called Vishwaha. This one is called Taijasaha. And that Taijasa is the second quarter. Again, this is an experience. What are we analyzing? Experience. That was an experience called outer experience. This is an experience called inner experience. There is a third experience which is called non-experience of anything. Everything is only an experience. And the content of experience is prajnaha, jnaha, jnaptihi eva surupam. And that is the fourth quarter, which is called turiya. That is a vision. And that turiya is where that jnaha is there everywhere. I call it as bahish prajnaha, antah prajnaha, prajnana ghanaha, aprajnaha. It's all jnaha, jnaha, jnaha. And that is there always. That is the Swarupa. Because what doesn't change, what is always there is your Swarupa. Rest is all incidental. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.